It's PBA basketball by 1891 on Triangle Media for tonight's in-state matchup between the Fort Worth F.I.R.M and the Waco Terror. And the opening tip is won by the F.I.R.M, and we're underway here in the Lone Star State. Fort Worth works in the dark uniforms in the half court here to our left as the Terror begin in a zone defense. F.I.R.M pass it around, mid-range jumpers off the mark. Put back try also doesn't go for Rob. And the Terror will have the basketball for the first time here in the red uniforms. Montgomery on the drive and the kick. Randolph, the running bank is good. And the Terror strike first. Now Waco with the steal on the defensive end and a fast break. Down the floor in transition, Montgomery's able to finish at the rim. And a quick 4-0 burst for Waco early on, getting the 2 buckets, sandwiching the steal. Fort Worth will slow down the pace. Unable to penetrate so far against this zone. Now they get it in the lane to Matthews, but he'll pass it out. That corner 3 rims out. And a Terror in transition will draw the foul. And Montgomery will head to the free throw line for a couple of attempts. Montgomery just had the basket last time down on the fast break for the Terror after that steal. And now he'll shoot the first free throws of the game, almost 90 seconds in. And Waco possessing the only point so far. And the first one's good. Montgomery makes 1 out of 2. And it's a 5-0 start for the Terror. Matthews, the floater rims out. And that rim is sealed right now for Fort Worth. Randolph, nice pass inside, but the floater doesn't go for Cato. He cleans up his own miss. It's a 7-0 start for the Terror here in the opening 2 minutes. Grab's turnaround shot is blocked out of bounds by Cato. As Cato does it on both ends. Got the layup on the offensive end. Now the block on the defensive end, and Fort Worth will have to inbound. The F.I.R.M working around the horn. Three-pointer is up and off the back iron. Rebounded by the Terror. The F.I.R.M unable to get inside against that zone defense here early on. Step back jumper is swished in by Thomas. And it's a 9-0 start for the Terror here in the opening 2 minutes and change. Good ball movement from Fort Worth. Three-pointer in the corner is airballed by Derek, but right into the hands of a teammate. Derek will tell you that's how he drew it up as Matthews puts it in for the first points for Fort Worth tonight. And that stamps that 9-0 run for Waco since the opening tip. Oh, an impressive take by Montgomery, but he couldn't finish the reverse. Tried to flip it up over the shoulder, and now on the fast break, the teardrop rims off for Matthews. And the Terror are able to clear it out. Missed opportunity there for Fort Worth. They've struggled in the half-court set. They had a chance there to get some points on the fast break and could not do so. But now a steal for the F.I.R.M. Another fast break opportunity, a collision in the lane, and an offensive foul. So the charge called against Fort Worth and another missed chance there down the floor. And now Waco will turn it over as they stepped on the sideline there. Careless turnover for the Terror. The ball handler stepping out of bounds, and Fort Worth gets the ball back down 7 here in the first quarter. Alley-oop toss intercepted by the Terror. Here's a leak out for Montgomery. Goes darting to the 10. Oh, he rims off the layup. It rolls right off the cylinder. And going coast to coast for the bucket is Rab. Pull-up 3 for Armstead is short. And now the F.I.R.M with a chance to make it a one-possession game if they could get back-to-back buckets here. Rab kicks it out. Mid-range jumper is knocked down. And Matthews trims the deficit to 3. The F.I.R.M going on a run of their own after the Terror started off this game with a big head start. Nice pass inside for Randolph results in that basket for the Terror. And Waco gets back on the scoreboard, extending their lead to 2 possessions here midway through the first quarter. Corner 3 is off the iron for Rich. And Montgomery will slow it up and set up the offense in the half court for the Terror. Foul at the finish. It's an and one inside. Nice strong move by Terrence Cato with that drop step on the baseline, and he heads to the free throw line. Try to finish off the three-point play. And he does. So midway through the first quarter, the Terror are up by 8. Floater doesn't fall. And Fort Worth just not getting the bounces as AJ missed that shot, but the F.I.R.M will steal it at midcourt. The 3 off the mark. And a slow start from the floor here for Fort Worth. Cato, the turnaround shot too strong. His putback rattles in. And Terrence Cato already with his 3rd basket here in the opening quarter as the Terror take a double-digit lead for the first time. With just over 4 to play here in the first quarter, just underway from Texas. 3-pointer. Well short for Warren. And Fort Worth is one and done. Armstead bumping his way to the block. He's double-teamed, then he turns it over. And it looks like they'll grant the timeout on that loose ball for Fort Worth as they keep possession. With 3:46 to go in the first quarter and Fort Worth trailing by 10. You're watching PBA basketball by 1891 on Triangle Media. Out of the timeout, the F.I.R.M with the basketball down by 10 here late in the first quarter. Use that timeout to keep this possession and avoid that potential jump ball or turnover. And a nice play out of the timeout by the F.I.R.M as it results in a layup, getting the deficit back to single digits. Turnaround shot. Off the mark for Thomas. Good ball movement again from Fort Worth, but the bunny doesn't fall for Matthews. Second chance for the Firm, but Matthews throws it away. The Terror unable to capitalize on the fast break. And Fort Worth gets it back down 8 here in the final minutes of the first quarter. Ball's deflected and stolen away by the Terror. Alley-oop toss, and the layup goes. Waco back up by 10 as they get the steal, leading to the easy basket down the floor. Grab with the dump off in the lane, and that floater goes for Derek. It's been a frustrating first quarter for the Firm, but Derek's able to finish in the paint on that basket. There's an air ball 3 for Waco, gives it right back to Fort Worth. Matthews finishes. And Fort Worth with back-to-back buckets get the deficit back to 6 here with 100 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Armstead shakes on his defender, pulls up, but can't convert. Three-pointer for Fort Worth would get it back to a single-possession game. Nice pass on the baseline by Rob, but the layup doesn't go for Derek. And the Firm just not getting the rolls on the offensive end, as here's a foul against Warren. That'll lead to more Waco free throws. After this trip to the line, the Terror will be out shooting Fort Worth 5-0 in attempts from the charity stripe here in the opening quarter. With 63 seconds left in this opening quarter, and the Terror up by 6 already. Chance for Gamble to try to add on. So Gamble makes 1 of 2. It's a 7-point lead for Waco. And a foul called on that drive into the lane for AJ in Fort Worth. Not a lot of whistles on this end of the floor. But a foul against the Terror that will be issued on the floor. And Fort Worth will inbound. AJ pulls up from the elbow, couldn't bank it. Second chance, though, for the Firm. And a nice deflection there by the Terror, knocking the ball out of bounds. As Fort Worth may have had an open look at 3 for AJ at the top of the key. Instead, the Firm will have to reset here off the inbounds play with less than 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Matthews gets to the rim and flips it in. He wanted the whistle. Has to settle for just the 2 points, and Waco has a 5-point lead. Turner gets a screen. Cato gets stripped. And the half-court heave does not go at the buzzer, wrapping up the first quarter. The Terror lead 19-14 after 1 quarter. You're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media. And we start the second quarter. The Terror will begin with the basketball leading by 5, 19-14. Waco has led for the entirety of this one so far after opening the game on a 7-0 run. For the F.I.R.M, just a frustrating first quarter on the offensive end as they had a lot of good looks at the basket. Just couldn't get the shots to fall. A lot of shots rimming off. And maybe once these two teams switch ends of the floor, things could turn around. The Terror zone defense also making things a little difficult for Fort Worth as Waco opens up the second quarter with that basket from Cato, who makes a nice strong move. And he's pushing double digits already in the point column here in the first half tonight. That's now 9 for the big man. That floater again rims out for Matthews at point-blank range. Couldn't hit the runner in the lane. And the frustrations continue for the F.I.R.M on that end of the floor. Getting good looks, just can't get the rolls. That three-pointer's airballed. We're still without a three-pointer here in this first half. The F.I.R.M will go right to the rim instead, and Rich lays it in. It's a 5-point game. Despite the shooting percentage for the F.I.R.M, especially on shots around the basket, they're still very much right in there. Hanging in the game, trailing by 2 possessions as Montgomery misses the runner. And it's now a 1-possession game. Nice finish by Rich in transition. And the F.I.R.M on a bit of a run, cutting the deficit to 3. The Terror have to take a timeout. 90 seconds into the second quarter, it's a 1-possession game. You're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media.
Good handle. Oh, what a shot. Breakaway dunk.
Out of the timeout, the Terror with the basketball, trying to slow down the run of the F.I.R.M as they've trimmed the deficit to just 1 possession now. Randolph's pass is knocked away and stolen. And a foul down the floor against Armstead. And a chance for Fort Worth to get even closer here with some free throws. AJ will go to the line to shoot the first Fort Worth foul shots of this first half. With just about 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Missed opportunity for AJ at the line there for the F.I.R.M. And Waco remains ahead by 3 with the basketball. And a travel called against the Terror as they turn it over. So Waco in a bit of a rut here on the offensive end. And the F.I.R.M could tie up the game on this possession if they're able to hit the first 3 of this first half. Rapp squares up, gives to the baseline. And that shot's banked in by Rich from the left side. It's a 1-point game. The F.I.R.M have trailed by double figures here in the first half, but they've come all the way back to trim it to 1. A near turnover for the Terror. Instead, Armstead misses the turnaround. A chance for Fort Worth to take their first lead. The 3, airballed by Rich. Armstead taking on the whole team, collides in the lane. And I think they're going to get Armstead for the offensive foul. He bulldozed right into the defender, Rich, who took the charge. And Armstead gets called for the offensive. Fort Worth gets it back, still down 1. The F.I.R.M have trailed by as many as 10 points. They have never led. But they can take their first lead of the first half with a basket on this possession. And they'll do exactly that. A beautiful pass by Rob. Gets the layup for A.J. cutting to the basket. And the Terror have to take another timeout as they trail for the first time. It's a 1-point game in the second quarter with a timeout as you're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media. So out of the timeout, the Terror with the basketball trailing for the first time in this first half. And Montgomery gets the whistle on his take into the lane. He'll head back to the free throw line, trying to put the Terror back in front. Waco started this game on a 7-0 run. They led by as many as double figures. They led for the first 13 minutes of the game. But now trail for the first time, at least for the moment, down by just a point. And that lead is fleeting for Fort Worth as Montgomery ties it from the stripe. And Montgomery puts the Terror back on top with the 2 free throws. Good pass down low from Matthews. And a foul called. Rab draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line for the F.I.R.M. Try to put Fort Worth back on top now in this seesaw second quarter. And we're tied up for the first time since it was 0-0. As Rab makes 1 of 2 at the stripe. Strong take in the lane. The finish with the foul for Cato. And he's now in double figures in scoring as he gets his second and 1 of this first half. So it's become a free throw shooting contest here in the second quarter, and Cato's back at the line where he's already 1 out of 1 today. But misses this attempt. The rebound's loose. And a loose ball foul. That will be called against Matthews in Fort Worth, and the Terror will now get to inbound. So a chance at potentially a 4 or 5 point possession here for Waco. They go back to Cato, who just scored. Dishes it out of the double team. And it looked like Randolph traveled on his take down the lane as he was a little too excited. Overzealous in the path he saw to the basket. The Terror turn it over. 3-pointers off the mark for Rab, but it's kept here by the F.I.R.M. Rab with a second chance. He will turn it over. That was a bit of a 50-50 pass. Wasn't sure who exactly Matthews was giving it to. And Rab knocked it out of bounds, so the Terror get it back, up by 2. Three-pointer is good. Our first 3 of the first half. And it comes from out by the volleyball line. Terror up by 5. Matthews off a screen. To the foul line. Turnaround jumper off the mark. And the Terror can add on to the lead here midway through the second quarter. Trying their luck again from distance. Can't connect from downtown this trip down the floor. Fort Worth looks to push. And now slow things up in the half court. Here's a three. Too long, but rebounded by Matthews. Matthews with a nice dribble drive, blowing past the defender and laying it in. Back to a one-possession game as that ends the 6-0 run for the Terror. 4.5 to go in the second quarter. Waco's up 3 and they'll throw it away. So the F.I.R.M get it back down 3 and have another chance to tie it up once again here on this possession with a potential three-pointer. They've yet to hit a three here in this first half. Little pick and roll game. And Rab hits the floater. The F.I.R.M get within 1. Terror turn it over. And the F.I.R.M go back ahead on that fast break layup from Matthews. 29-28, Fort Worth in front. A 6-0 run by the Terror, followed by a 6-0 run by the F.I.R.M to move back ahead on the scoreboard. With 3:40 to go until intermission. Montgomery can't sink that step back. That's cleared out by Fort Worth. Numbers in transition. Rab will take it himself and he twirls it in. And the F.I.R.M up by 3 late in the second quarter. Cato kisses it in after getting the feed from Armstead. And Cato's been leading the way for the Terror tonight. He's been a terror for Fort Worth. Rab's no-look pass stolen away. And the easy bucket on the other end for Armstead. The Terror move back in front. It's been a second quarter of runs between these two as we continue to exchange leads. 1-point game with less than 3 to go until halftime. Elbow jump for Warren is knocked down. And the F.I.R.M are back in front. Multiple lead changes here in this second quarter. Cato's doubled. Montgomery with the blow-by. Nice adjustment in midair, but couldn't finish the layup. And an offensive goaltend will be called on the tip-in attempt by the Terror. They missed 2 shots right at the iron and then got the goaltend on the third attempt of the possession. And the F.I.R.M get the ball back up 1 late in the second. Three-pointer knocked down by Warren. And the F.I.R.M with their first 3 of the first half now lead by 4. 36-32 with 1:45 to go until halftime. Turner turns it over. But the F.I.R.M will turn it right back. AJ couldn't handle the hot pass from Matthews. And the two teams exchange turnovers in the final 2 minutes of this second quarter. Turner's 3, rims in and out. Put back off the mark for Armstead. Or rather, Thomas missed the putback. And the F.I.R.M will get the foul after the rebound. So Fort Worth will have possession, up 4 with 70 seconds left here in the second quarter. Grab with the pass in the paint to the cutter, but Rich couldn't finish that layup attempt. And the Terror now are going to throw it away. Final minute. Matthews cleans up his own miss, and the F.I.R.M have their largest lead of the game in the final minute of the first half, as they're now up by 6, 38-32. They trailed by as many as 10 earlier this half. They're now up 6. Cato gets that runner to dip in. Final seconds of the first half. Matthews draws the foul on his drive. And he'll head to the free throw line with the F.I.R.M up 4. First one rims out. Looks like a violation must have been called on the Terror, as Matthews will get a third free throw here from the line. And he puts the F.I.R.M back up by 6. 24 seconds remain in the second quarter. And a clock issue late in the second quarter here as Waco is bringing the ball up the floor. Final 10 seconds. Cato to beat the horn, banks it in. And that'll do it for the first half. The F.I.R.M erase a double-digit deficit and take a 4-point lead to the Lockers midway through as you're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media. Start the second half, and the Terror with the basketball down by 4 as the two teams switch sides. The Terror in these red uniforms will now work on this end of the floor, as this rim started to open up as that first half went on for Fort Worth. Waco started by scoring the first 7 points in this game, and even led by as many as 10 in that first half. They'll find themselves trailing to begin the third quarter. Cato was the star in that first half. He passes it out here. The reverse layup, good for Armstead on a pretty move. And the Terror open up the second half for the basket to cut the deficit to 2. As the F.I.R.M now working this end of the floor. After they had a very slow offensive start to this game. Got going in that second quarter to battle back and take the lead. Rab missed that shot as he's taken off the long sleeve undershirt here for the second half. And on the other end, Armstead with back-to-back buckets to tie it up here in the opening minute of the third quarter. The deep 2 is too strong for Rab. And now the Terror have a chance to take the lead back. And an offensive foul on Cato as he plowed through a defender there on his drive into the painted area. Or at least on this floor, I guess it would be the non-painted area in the paint. The key of the court. As the Terror turn it over, the offensive foul. Rab with a nice bounce to the baseline. Matthews couldn't finish. Euro step and another basket. As it's been all Xavier Armstead here in the second half. 6 straight points for him. And the Terror have taken the lead back 2 minutes into the third quarter. There's a reaching in foul on Cato. As Matthews was burning past him. Matthews gets his screen. Lost the basketball as he went up with the shot and it's stolen away by the Terror. But Fort Worth steals it right back. Nice defensive plays on both ends of the floor. Pull-up jumpers off the mark for Matthews. Terror up 2 with the basketball here in the third quarter. Cato's runner is too strong. Second chance for Waco. And Thomas will throw it away. Reverse layup, good for Matthews. The first basket of this second half for the F.I.R.M. Took them almost 3 minutes to get on the board here in this third quarter, but they tie up the game at 42. And meanwhile, quickly, Waco takes the lead back as Cato gets his third and 1 of this one. First basket by the Terror here in the second half from someone other than Xavier Armstead. Armstead opened up this third quarter with 6 straight points, and now the and 1 for Cato as the Terror are leading once again. And that lead will remain at 2 with Cato popping out the free throw. The rise and the fire and the knockdown for Rab to tie it up at 44. Three-pointer short for Armstead. We've only had a couple of threes in this game, 1 from each side. That 3's off the mark. Rab with a bullet to the baseline, and that ball is deflected out of bounds by the Terror. Rab on the alley-oop toss gets it to Matthews for the finish. A beautiful inbounds play from Fort Worth as they move back in front by 2, approaching the midway mark of this third quarter. That layup for Montgomery looked like it hit the bottom of the backboard. He got caught in a tough spot. And the rebound eventually is secured by the Terror. 3-pointers off the back iron. And it'll stay here for the Terror. Or will it? No, they'll say that ball hit the backside of the backboard and go out of bounds. So the Terror with a couple of opportunities on that possession but could not capitalize. And the F.I.R.M get the ball back, leading by 2. Corner 3 is long. And the F.I.R.M are one and done. Randolph lobs into Cato on the block. Kicks it back out. Randolph spots up from distance, but can't dial it up. Rab losing control, turns it over on the fast break. Numbers for the Terror. Oh, but the pass from Cato, too hot for Thomas to control. And after the two teams exchange fast break turnovers, Matthews gets the bucket to give the F.I.R.M a 4-point lead. The Terror take a timeout, 4:42 to go in the third. Fort Worth back ahead by 4. So you're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media. Out of the timeout. The Terror go inside to Cato, their star today. And he gets that turnaround and make it a 2-point deficit. So nice job by Waco to come out of the TO, get a basket and trim the deficit to 2. With 4:23 to go in the third quarter, and now a near steal for Cato, but he was on the sideline. And Fort Worth will keep possession with an inbounds. The F.I.R.M turn it over, but steal it right back, intercepting the outlet pass. Open 3, and Rich cashes it. Not a lot of threes in this game, but that one gives the F.I.R.M a 5-point edge. And a foul called as Randolph was bear hugged on his drive into the lane. Waco will inbound. Terror led by 10 earlier in this one, the largest lead of the game. But now down 5 as they inbound it on their end of the floor. Randolph's pull-up 3 pops in and out. It was halfway down. And coast to coast goes Matthews to draw the foul. Or rather, Rich, who just knocked down the 3 moments ago for Fort Worth, now gets the foul on his drive to the basket, and Rich will head to the line. The F.I.R.M up by 7, their largest lead tonight. And a block by Derrick on the defensive end. A foul on that 3-point try. And everything going the way of Fort Worth now as Rich will head back to the line for the F.I.R.M. And get to shoot 3. Rich knocks down all three, and the F.I.R.M lead by 10 for the first time today. It's their largest lead. Fort Worth trailed by 10 in the first half, and now are up by 10. They've outscored Waco by 20 points here in the last about 2 quarters of basketball, as Waco gets the bucket inside to get it back to single digits. Rab's handoff is stolen away. The Euro, but the missed shot for Armstead. Unable to finish is Rich on the running shot. And the easy basket on the other end for Armstead. Derek gets the lay-in. Good ball movement from the F.I.R.M, resulting in the easy basket. They're up 8. Three balls short. And the reverse layup good down the floor for Rab as the F.I.R.M leads 60-52 with 90 seconds left here in the third. Coast to coast for the basket goes Montgomery. And the two offenses trying to get on a roll here in the second half. Nice spin, but Rich unable to finish at the rim. Second chance, and Rab puts it off the window. Cato can't get the shot to go. He wanted a foul. Alley-oop, and it's going to drop in. Matthews got the bounce after the alley-oop toss from Rich and a foul out at midcourt. The F.I.R.M with their largest lead of this one, up by a dozen late in the third quarter. Cato gets the finish with the foul, and even getting the whistle, he still wasn't happy. It's another and one for Terrence Cato. He's had 4 of those today. He's been excellent inside for the Terror. The F.I.R.M will take some of the air out of the basketball late in the third quarter here, up by 9. And Warren throws it away. He saw a wide open teammate and got a little too anxious, overthrowing Matthews and tossing it out of bounds for the turnover. So Waco with a chance here late in the third. Down by 9. The three almost went, but Montgomery can't hit at the buzzer, and the F.I.R.M will take a 9-point lead to the fourth quarter. as you're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media. So we start the fourth quarter. The F.I.R.M begin with the basketball and a 9-point lead. Fort Worth trailed by 10 in the first half. They did not hold their first lead until the 14th minute of action, but have been in command here in the second half. They're up 4 at the half. They're up by 9 to begin the fourth quarter. As Derek missed that turnaround shot in the opening possession. And the Terror now will try to cut into the deficit. And they will, starting with the 3. Gibson knocks it down from the corner. It's a 6-point game. Nice move by Rabb inside, adjusting to clear some space and finishing at the rim. And the Terror will throw it away. That pull-up is bricked by Rabb. He's been excellent today, but well off the target on that shot attempt. Gibson hits another 3. And here come the Terror, getting back within 2 possessions early in the fourth quarter. We did not get our first 3-pointer in this game until late in the second quarter, but I've seen a few more drop here in the second half. Foul called as Rich was driving in the lane. I think they're going to call it on the floor. The F.I.R.M arguing that it was a shooting foul. And Wolf Rabb continuing to debate with the striped shirt, but the officials will call the foul on the floor. And Fort Worth will inbound with the 5-point lead and 8 minutes to go. The F.I.R.M being patient, working it around here on the offensive end. And an offensive foul called against Rich as the F.I.R.M turn it over. Step back 3 is buried by Montgomery. It's a 2-point game as the Terror go on the latest run. It's mostly been a game of runs tonight. And whichever team goes on that final run will probably get out of here victorious. The Terror have gotten within 2. Tough shot for Matthews, comes up short. It's a 9-2 run for the Terror, opening up this fourth. They also open up the third quarter on a run, a 6-0 run at the time to take the lead back. Some slow starts to the various quarters tonight for Fort Worth. Now Waco can tie it on a basket, but instead they won't have a chance as Cato throws it away. And Rabb with the bucket on the other end to give the F.I.R.M a 4-point lead with just over 6 to play. Running shot will rattle in for Armstead. Matthews on the pull-up, sinks it from the elbow. And the F.I.R.M continuing to keep Waco at a bit of an arm's length here. Nice strong take by Montgomery going down the floor for the basket. F.I.R.M staying ahead, up by 2, just over 5 to play in the fourth. Floater, sunk it by Matthews. And a timeout, 5:28 to go in the fourth. The F.I.R.M holding on to their 4-point lead as you're watching PBA basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media. Out of the timeout. The Terror with the basketball down 4 here midway through the fourth quarter. That step back 3 is too long for Montgomery. And a block on the defensive end by Gibson. However, the F.I.R.M get the putback. And that's a big bucket to go up by 6 after it looked like the Terror had a defensive stop. Under 5 to play. Waco down by 6. Deep 3 for Gibson is off the heel. And on the second effort, the shot from Cato rims in and out. Gibson couldn't finish the third shot of the possession for the Terror. Rebound loose. Players diving after it, and it's out of bounds off of Fort Worth. These two teams leaving it all on the floor here late in the fourth quarter tonight in a 2-possession game in this Texas in-state rivalry matchup. Fort Worth with the 6-point lead over Waco. Step back triple is short for Armstead. Matthews will go inside for Rab. Squares up to the basket. Now puts it on the floor. Hands off. And a whistle. Looks like a foul against Gibson and the Terror. So Fort Worth will inbound up by 6 with 4:09 to play. An issue at the scores table here to delay the inbounds. The Terror almost had a steal. Instead, it results in a bucket for Rab. And that's a backbreaker for Waco as the F.I.R.M push their lead up to 8. 76-68. Their last 2 baskets have been on putback attempts, which are always crushing, especially for a team trying to make a fourth quarter comeback. Nice running shot there for Turner in the lane as he powered it up and in. And Waco now needing some stops as they trail by 6 with 3:35 to go. Turner fouls Matthews out on the perimeter. And this will put Fort Worth in the bonus, and they'll get some free throws. Second one pops out. It's a 7-point lead for the F.I.R.M. Running shot falls for Armstead. And Waco's within 5 with 3:20 to go. Rab spins to the bucket. Can't get that shot to fall in. It slid right off the cylinder. Three-pointer comes up well short for Montgomery. The Terror are one and done. And a fast break layup for Fort Worth. Big basket for Matthews there as the F.I.R.M. are back up by 9. Coast to coast for the finish. As Armstead wanted the and one. Waco gets within 7. Rab finishes with the left. And he's had another good night for Fort Worth. Gibson's 3. Oh, rims in and out. The rim on this end of the floor has not been very forgiving tonight. Layup on the fast break for the F.I.R.M. Gets their lead back to double figures. AJ lays it in, and a timeout taken with the F.I.R.M. up by 11. 85-74 with less than 2 to play. You're watching PBA basketball by 1891. You're on Triangle Media. So out of the timeout, the Terror with the basketball down 11 and running out of time here with less than 2 minutes to go. Cato's running shot pops out. Final 100 seconds. The F.I.R.M. already up 11 and now can run some clock. And AJ fouled out on the perimeter as the F.I.R.M. trying to just play a little keep away here. Up 11 with 1:15 to go. Fort Worth's in the bonus, so AJ should get some free throws. Waco let some valuable seconds tick off the clock before eventually just fouling anyways. And Southpaw converts on the first. What a turnaround tonight for the F.I.R.M. From down by 10 in the first half to now up by 12 in the final 75 seconds of this one. Terror with the basketball down 12, needing quick points. Can't get that 3. And the F.I.R.M. get it right back. As Armstead knocks the ball out of bounds, this will give Waco a chance to set up their press, try to get a steal here. Well, not pressing too much in the backcourt, but Fort Worth taking it over into the front court without much resistance. We dip into the final minute of the fourth quarter with the F.I.R.M. up 12 and possessing the basketball. Nice behind-the-back pass by Rab, but maybe too far away from Matthews as the F.I.R.M. turn it over. And Waco will turn it right back. A careless turnover late in this one for the trailing Terror. Fort Worth will continue to burn more time, up 12 late in this one. Nice pass by Rab, and the finish for Matthews. An exclamation point for the F.I.R.M as they're up 14, their largest lead of the game. Cato's pull-up comes up short. And Waco just could not do enough here in the second half offensively. And the F.I.R.M will tack on with that last-moment basket from A.J. The Tabor will let the clock expire here. And Fort Worth is going to get out of here with a big victory in this in-state rivalry. The F.I.R.M trailed for the first 13 minutes tonight. They were down by as many as 10 in the first half, but they end up winning by 14 in an impressive come-from-behind victory as Fort Worth beats Waco tonight here in Texas, 88-74. This has been PBA Basketball by 1891 here on Triangle Media.
Good handle. What a shot. Breakaway dunk.